Imagine a world that no longer considers sin as anything more than an outdated religious concept, a remnant of the past with no real relevance in today's culture. We live in a time when traditional notions of good and evil have blurred, replaced by new values driven by technological advancement, convenience, and instant gratification. The idea of sin, once closely connected to ideas of self-discipline, respect and moral restraint, has faded, while the ancient vices, wrath, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, sloth, and pride, have transformed, rebranded, and are woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. We're not likely to face eternal damnation as was once believed, but the effects of these behaviors, magnified by modern culture, can be equally devastating, turning our time on this beautiful earth into something close to a living hell. Here, we explore how these ancient sins have evolved, not as religious moralities, but as toxic behaviors that shape our lives in ways that often feel inescapable. Wrath, greed, and pride now operate within our social media networks. Gluttony and sloth thrive in a world of fast food and endless entertainment. Envy fuels consumerism, and lust commodifies human connection. Let's dive deep into each, considering how they're interwoven with contemporary culture and how, without conscious effort, they drag us further into cycles of emptiness, dissatisfaction, and disconnection. The wrath of the keyboard warrior. In ancient times, wrath referred to uncontrolled anger, often leading to violent outbursts. Today, wrath doesn't always take the form of physical violence. Instead, it often manifests through digital aggression. With the shield of anonymity, anger has found a new home online, where people engage in outrage and trolling, often attacking others without fear of real-world consequences. Social media has created a virtual battlefield where rage is channeled through comments, posts, and messages, turning minor disagreements into heated, hostile exchanges. The modern keyboard warrior thrives on anger, finding validation and even entertainment in tearing down others. Entire communities are built on this foundation of mutual disdain, feeding off outrage to keep the adrenaline of conflict pumping. While these digital outbursts don't leave physical bruises, they chip away at mental and emotional health. The constant consumption of negativity can breed chronic stress and anxiety, fostering a world where people are perpetually on edge, angry, and defensive. In this way, wrath has been given new life, morphing from physical rage to a more subtle yet pervasive mental state that's destructive for both individuals and society. It leaves us exhausted and depleted, our time online turning into cycles of anger and defensiveness that harm our relationships and peace of mind. Greed in a world of unlimited shopping. In a consumer-driven society, greed doesn't show up only as a lust for money. It appears in the constant need for more, whether it's material possessions, status, or social validation. Online shopping has made it so that nearly any product in the world is just a click away. Credit cards and buy now pay later schemes make it easy to indulge in instant gratification, regardless of financial consequence. And the psychological manipulation of limited time offers and exclusive deals only deepens the sense of urgency to accumulate. Modern culture has conditioned us to believe that the more we possess, the more fulfilled we will be. Social media influencers flaunt luxury goods and lifestyles, creating an endless desire for material wealth. This greed has societal consequences, reinforcing economic inequalities, contributing to environmental degradation, and eroding mental health by promoting a toxic cycle of comparison and desire. Yet, possessions and wealth rarely provide lasting satisfaction. The pursuit of more and more leaves many feeling emptier, enslaved to an endless cycle of wanting and accumulating. Greed, in this context, doesn't lead to satisfaction. It drives perpetual dissatisfaction, as we seek happiness in material goods that can never truly fulfill us. Lust in the age of casual encounters. Lust has taken on a new form in the era of dating apps and hookup culture. What was once a sin associated with the indulgence of sexual desire has now been normalized and, in many cases, celebrated. Platforms that make finding a casual partner as easy as swiping right have transformed how people view intimacy. Casual encounters have become increasingly detached from emotion, often driven more by ego than by genuine connection. This culture of instant gratification reduces complex human experiences to fleeting exchanges, disconnecting sex from intimacy and promoting an illusion that relationships can be as easily disposed of as last week's leftovers. The problem isn't with individual choices, but with how society encourages a culture that trivializes deep emotional bonds and turns others into disposable sources of temporary pleasure. As a result, many find themselves feeling lonely or used, struggling to form genuine connections in a world where relationships have been commodified. Lust, once a momentary lapse, is now a lifestyle, leaving behind emotional scars and a sense of emptiness as people seek meaning in places it cannot be found. Envy and the social media illusion. Envy has always been present, but social media has magnified it in unprecedented ways. Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms serve as a constant highlight reel, showcasing the most glamorous, curated versions of people's lives. Seeing others' apparent success, beauty, and happiness can stir up feelings of inadequacy, making it hard to appreciate one's own life. Envy is cleverly capitalized on by marketers who sell products to fill the void, promising that the latest gadget, skincare product, or luxury item will bring you closer to the ideal life you see online. This culture of comparison drives consumerism, making people feel perpetually inadequate and in need of improvement. The result is a cycle of envy, spending, and dissatisfaction as people chase an ideal that doesn't exist. Envy in the digital age fosters low self-esteem, anxiety, and a distorted sense of reality. Relationships suffer as well, with people measuring their worth against others rather than finding joy in their own unique paths. Social media is designed to provoke envy, and in doing so, it has weaponized one of humanity's oldest weaknesses, creating a culture where no one feels truly content. Gluttony in the world of overabundance. Gluttony once referred to the overindulgence in food and drink, but in today's society, it has expanded to mean any excessive consumption. Fast food, available at the click of a button, has turned convenience into a lifestyle. Unhealthy foods are everywhere, and the industry has perfected methods of making them irresistible, regardless of the harm they cause. Yet gluttony isn't just about food, it's about a culture of excess. Streaming services, endless online content, and social media feed a never-ending appetite for distraction and entertainment. There's always something to watch, to eat, to consume, making it easy to sink into an endless cycle of indulgence. This culture of overconsumption leads to physical and mental deterioration. People find themselves perpetually exhausted, overstimulated, and desensitized, unable to appreciate the small, meaningful moments in life. Gluttony may not lead to eternal damnation, but it does erode quality of life, turning time and energy into something we squander rather than cherish. Sloth in the digital age. Sloth, or the avoidance of physical or spiritual work, has become one of the most misunderstood sins. Today, sloth is less about laziness and more about distraction. Technology has created an era where boredom is virtually impossible, but with it comes a subtle, pervasive form of sloth, the inability to focus, to commit to self-improvement, or to engage deeply with anything. Endless scrolling on social media, binge-watching series, and constant notifications all contribute to a life where people are mentally and emotionally stagnant. It's easy to consume information passively, to feel busy without being productive. This digital sloth keeps people from engaging in personal growth, relationships, or meaningful activities, promoting a life of passivity. Sloth in the modern age is the gradual slipping away of ambition, motivation, and discipline, replaced by a sense of entitlement to comfort and distraction. The result is a life that feels busy but lacks depth, where personal dreams and aspirations fade away in favor of quick fixes and empty entertainment. Pride in the age of self-promotion. Pride, once considered the root of all sin, is now widely accepted, even celebrated, in the form of self-promotion and personal branding. Social media encourages people to share the best versions of themselves, to cultivate influence and followers, often with little regard for authenticity. The pursuit of validation through likes, shares, and comments has made self-centeredness a societal norm. This focus on self-promotion turns pride into an endless cycle of seeking validation, where self-worth is measured by online engagement. Many fall into the trap of comparing themselves to their own curated personas, feeling they can never live up to the version of themselves they project. This constant validation seeking disconnects people from true self-worth, leaving them feeling inadequate, anxious, or depressed. Pride in this form fosters a culture of narcissism, where empathy and humility are sacrificed for the sake of popularity. People become more isolated as their relationships become transactional, based on image rather than genuine connection. The obsession with self-image doesn't elevate, it isolates, making it difficult for people to feel a true sense of belonging or self-acceptance. Finding balance in a modern world. In the end, the 7 deadly sins may be ancient concepts, but they've found new life in modern society, amplified by technology, consumer culture, and a world that thrives on instant gratification. These behaviors, unchecked, lead us to lives of quiet despair, where the beauty and richness of human experience are replaced by superficial pleasures and fleeting distractions. But the lesson here isn't just one of avoidance. Instead, it's about finding balance, understanding the forces that shape our behaviors, and making conscious choices that allow us to live fully. By recognizing these modern manifestations of ancient vices, we can strive for something more meaningful: connection, discipline, and an appreciation for the world beyond our screens. In doing so, we might just reclaim the heaven that already exists on Earth. Thank you for spending time with us through Spookscope today. Feel free to share your knowledge and wisdom in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, my dear spooker, stay curious.